Hey folks, your OS Reviews. You're watching our video first look and a quick review of the GL08. This is a pair of wireless Bluetooth collarbone style headphones or earphones, and they sell for under 35 bucks on Amazon. Packaging wise, it's pretty simple. These don't have the most inspired look in the world. They are similar to the LG Tone headphones that we've seen a few years back, but it does come with a few spare silicone tips in addition to a micro USB cable for charging. It charges up in under 2 hours and then provides you with a decent around 5 hours, 6 hours of continuous audio playback before you need to recharge it again. And that's fairly average for a wireless Bluetooth headset. So taking a quicker look at the design, one thing that sets these apart from past collarbone headphones that we've reviewed is how much they fold. This has a tri-band fold, which means it folds 3 times as opposed to 2 times, which is a lot more normal. So usually they fold up like this, and then you have to carry this into a bag, which is already quite portable. But this one folds down one more time at the very top, and you can see how small this is. It's about the same size as a smartphone, and that makes it easier to slide into a pocket or into a backpack for transportation. One thing I like about collarbone style Bluetooth headphones versus something like truly wireless or traditional Bluetooth headsets is that the weight is mostly distributed by your neck. You're wearing this almost like a necklace. This, as the name suggests, will rest on your collarbone, and then you pull out these tips and just stick these into your ears for listening to music. As a result, the ear tips can be very, very lightweight, and again, the battery and circuitry is distributed onto the band. And that's great if you're listening to music for longer periods of time or on an airplane and you don't want that much stress on your head. Otherwise, again, these are very well constructed. They're made out of this nice soft touch rubber material, just like previous versions we've seen. A few accents which are made out of this glossy plastic, but otherwise pretty clean look. You can also see some labeling on the sides with the model number, in addition to the parts which fold. It tells you in a label, where you can actually slide this around. Interestingly, there's also this band that says hair protection. So what you can technically do with this is slide it over the sliding part, or the part that folds down, just because the hinge, as you can imagine in older earphones, has a tendency to grab your hair in the joints that move around. So if you pop this over the top joint before you actually fold it, this will prevent that from catching your hair and it being painful when you remove them. So very thoughtful as far as the overall design. On the side here, there's also access to controls for your music. It pairs very simply using Bluetooth version 4.2 to your Android or iOS smartphone, and afterwards you can control your music using the volume rocker, which is fairly tactile and responsive. And on the other side, there's access to a key which both plays and pauses your music in addition to answers or rejects a phone call that's coming in. There are small microphones located on the sides of these headphones, which means that you can use them to also make phone calls. They aren't noise canceling per se, which means that if you're outdoors and it's super windy or very loud, it has a tendency to pick up your background sounds as well. These two little buttons at the bottom here will mechanically suck the ear tips back into place when you're done with them. This is another nice design of these specifically, because in the past we've seen models that try to use magnets to hold these tips into place when you're done, and those magnets tended to get very weak over time as you start to bang it and use it. They lose their resistancy and their strength. As a result, it often flops off or becomes very easily to tangle, and it becomes not as elegant when you're carrying it around. Whereas these remain a very secure fit just because of the way that these arms can be retracted. So overall, I do like the fit and the finish as well as the design of these earphones. So when it comes to the audio quality, I was also fairly impressed with these. They offered actually more bass than I was expecting for such a small pair of headphones. So the drivers onto the tips are actually quite nice and powerful. They provide a bit of oomph in the lower frequencies. So if you are listening to pop music or electronic music, you definitely notice that the drums are present, which is nice. And overall, they are fairly clean sounding for wireless Bluetooth headphones. Even if I turn the volume all the way up or all the way down, I couldn't notice any distortion or static in the background, which is very common in Bluetooth headsets, and it's a nice thing that they really worked on the audio experience here. This is already the 3rd or 4th generation model of these that we've seen, so they've had the time to refine the audio quality, and by now it has certainly improved compared to the 1st gen model that we've seen a few years back. Battery life, again, is also good. Around 6 hours is average for this category, so no complaints there. All in all, they work well for casual music listening and for the occasional phone call. I wouldn't say these are audiophile grade or hi-fi grade Bluetooth headsets necessarily. Even though it's already quite clean and impressive sounding, they still aren't as detailed as more expensive headphones on the market. And at this price point, you're already getting a great value, especially with this unique trifold design, which I think is great in terms of portability. And again, they improved upon the ergonomics as well as the sound even more in this newest generation model. So we applaud the company for doing this. So you can check out more details in our official written review, but for now, this has been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews. This has been a first look at the GL08. This is a pair of wireless Bluetooth collarbone style headphones, again, inspired by the LG Tone, and already we're about 4 generations deep, and arguably this is the best version so far.